Excel CEO, Excel 2013, Chapter 4, Sorting, Subtotaling, and Filtering. So what are we going to learn in this chapter? You're going to select and open multiple files of related data. So you open up a whole bunch of files all at one time. You're going to choose the appropriate sort ascending and sort descending icon. You're going to use custom sort options. You're going to do some subtotaling and summarizing of data. You're going to choose some data filters for numeric and text data. That's kind of a cool thing there. And you're going to use a top 10 filter, and you're going to do some advanced and search filtering. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and get started. The introduction. This is kind of a fun story. One time I had an assignment to take over a report that someone else in Arizona had developed. That employee had the responsibility of calculating incentive travel. She created reports to show who won the various trips that the salespeople could earn. The top few number of salespeople who sold most over their budget won an all-expense paid trip, and everyone wanted to win. Now, I was expecting to see some really sophisticated calculations, databases, and spreadsheets, and I was going to be doing these calculations for literally thousands of salespeople. I discovered that all she was doing was just taking a spreadsheet that someone in the accounting department had given to her, summing up each person's sales, and then sorting it in descending order by amount sold. The top producers were the first ones to be on the list, and they got to go on the trip. We spent a lot of money to take all those people on that trip, and it was almost scary how easy it was to determine how many people were going to go. And it was almost scary how easy it was to determine who got to go. Now, Excel provides many fantastic tools that allow you to sort, summarize, and filter your data without having to do any complex calculations. Sorting the data is very useful, particularly if you need to rank the data from top to bottom or bottom to top or whatever, or if you want to identify some type of trends that may exist in the data. After you sorted your data, you may want to calculate subtotals to see sums of certain groups of numbers. Then you can filter out what you don't need or display only those what you want to see. All of this is done by a few simple clicks of the mouse. In this chapter, we're going to teach you how to do all of that in just a few easy steps. So let's close this out here. The first thing that we're going to do in this chapter is work with multiple files. So to begin this chapter, I'd like to talk about however, I'd like to talk about combining files. Lots of times you won't be able to control the format or the manner in which files or data are sent to you. When people give you information, it usually comes in the format that they are most comfortable with. Sometimes it comes to you in different files and you have to put it all together. So in this exercise, you're going to open 3 files at once and combine them into one file. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you need to have Excel 2013 open. And let's go ahead and click on the open icon here and navigate to the C drive, ExcelCEO. We don't have it there, so we're going to click the Browse button. Come on over to the C drive, ExcelCEO, Excel 2013, Chapter 4. All right. With these, there's what 5 files over here in this folder, and with this folder open, I want you to click on the August sale just one time. Click on the August sale, hold down the Control key on your keyboard, then click the July sales and the September sales. So we're going to combine Q3, which would be July, August, and September files, and then we're going to release the Control key. That's how you select all of those files, and click Open. So now all these all these 3 files open at once. In some older versions of Excel, you could only view one workbook at a time, and the program would make you toggle between them. Microsoft finally made it possible by default to open worksheets in separate windows and view them side by side. This is a really cool enhancement that should feel natural to you here pretty soon, if not already. If you find you prefer the cascading layout for the workbooks, it's still available to That is still available to use from the Windows group of the View tab of the Office ribbon. The old features still work if you want to see multiple workbooks at once, so let's explore some of them now. So for this, let's go ahead and click on the View tab and come over here and click on the Switch Windows icon. When you click on the Switch Windows icon, you're going to see all of the workbooks that you have open at this time. So let's go ahead and click on the July sales workbook there. And the July workbook sales appear, or the July sales workbook appears. Now we're going to save this file since this is the first month of the quarter. We're going to save this file. So we're going to click over here, File, Save As. We'll save it in Chapter 4. And we're going to save it as my Q3 sales. So type my Q3 underscore sales and click Save. Next, we're going to combine the data in each of the file into one file called My Q3 Sales. That would include July, August, and September sales all in one file. Now that you have all the files open, there's a lot of different options that you have to quickly organize the view to help you work with all of these different files. So let's go ahead and arrange them in a cascading order. So still, let's see, let's click on the View tab over here and click the Arrange All icon here in the Window group. Now, the Arrange Windows dialog box appears. In this box, you can tell Excel exactly how to arrange the view of the files, choosing from tiled, horizontal, vertical, and cascade. So in this case, let's go ahead and click on Cascade and click OK. Now you can see all of the files that we have open right now here in overlapping in one screen. So over here you see book one. Actually, we don't need book one, so I'm going to click on this book one and take that out. So now we see the three files. We have September sales files, then August files behind it, and then the July sales files that we saved as my Q3 files, or my Q3 sales. To make any file active, all you have to do is click on it, just like we did for the book one. So let's go ahead and make the August sales file be the active one. And now what I want to do is take my cursor and go all the way down here at the bottom to the tab that says August underscore sales. And we're going to right click over there on that tab, and we're going to choose Move or Copy. This dialog box is pretty self-explanatory, so what we want to do is we want to copy this tab of data over to the My Q3 Sales. So it says move the selected sheets to Book, and I'm going to click on this drop-down menu. Let's click on My Q3 Sales. We don't want to move them, we do want to create a copy, so I'm going to click the Create Copy button down over there at the bottom and click OK. Now you see that the My Q3 Sales file contains two tabs. It has the August Sales tab and the July Sales tab. Let's do the same thing with the September sales. So I'm going to click on the September sales file over there, come down to where the tab is, right click on the tab, choose Move or Copy. Where do we want to copy it to? We want to copy it to the My Q3 Sales. So I'll click on My Q3 My Q3 Sales, click Create a Copy, and OK. And now let's go ahead and click on the Maximize button over here. That takes off the cascading styles over there. We see that we've got the three tabs over there, September, August, and July in My Q3 Sales. We will close that file, or I'm sorry, save the file, and then close it, and we'll close the September and the August files. The next thing I want to talk about is sorting. Now, let's suppose that you want to see how many manufacturers you purchase products from. It's real easy to do, and you can do this by using the sort ascending and sort descending icons. Now, some of this may be really simple to some of y'all, but I do want to go through it. There's a couple of things in here that I want to make absolutely sure that you understand about sorting. So please, if you've already done lots of sorting and you think you're an expert at it already, just bear with me. Please just stay with me for a little while here, okay? All right, so what we're going to do in this next exercise is to open the item file and perform some sorts on it. So let's go ahead and open Excel here. I'm going to click on Open Other Workbooks. We don't have the item file up there, so I'm going to click on Computer here and navigate to Chapter 4 and open the item file. Let's maximize that screen. And let's save this as My Item. Chapter 4, My Item, and click Save. This file is the master list of all items that 99 Mattresses stocks in their inventory. You can see that there's 69 rows of data in the list, the first row being the column names. That means there are 68 items in the list. The fields include item number, manufacturer, product, size, quality, series, retail price, and cost. So the first thing we need to do is just to resize all of the columns. So I'm going to select the entire spreadsheet, hold my cursor in between the columns A and B, and double click that. It expands out everything so we can see everything now. I want to underline everything in row 1. We're just trying to make it pretty right now. And in the View tab, we're going to click on the Freeze Panes, and we're going to freeze the top row. That's actually one little functionality that I like better in Excel 2013 as opposed to Excel 2007 or 2010 is the ability to freeze the top row or left column without without actually having to click on it. It's not really a big deal, but it can be a time saver. All right, so I'm going to click on any cell here in the table. Now, I'm going to show you one way of sorting the data. I'm going to point over here. Actually, I'm going to click on cell B1. We're going to right click over there, point to sort, and we're going to sort A to Z, which is in ascending order. Now, realize that there are other ways that you can sort data in an Excel 2013 table. One way is to click on the Data tab, use the Sort A to Z ascending or Sort Z to A descending icons in the Sort and Filter group. If you want to sort on multiple fields or formatting, if you want to sort on multiple fields or on formatting options like cell color or font color, you can use the sort icon in the sort and filter group. So you just click on the sort icon in the sort and filter group, and you can do all kinds of different sort on different options. Now, pay attention to the various options available on the sort option in the right click menu, like sorting by cell color and font options, like sorting by cell color and font color options. Using those options is beyond the scope of this chapter, but they do come in handy if you need to sort on cells that contain some conditional formatting, and conditional formatting is covered in Chapter 14. This list is now sorted in ascending order by manufacturer. And as you scroll up and down the list, you can see that there are 4 manufacturers whose names are repeated in the numerous. As you scroll up and down the list, you can see that there are 4 manufacturers whose names are repeated on the various lines in the table. Those manufacturers are Comma, Dream, Levin, and Sleepwell. Now you want to see all of those items sorted by retail prices from highest to lowest. So I'm going to click over here on cell G, and really all you have to do is you just click on any single cell in column G to do what we're going to do right now. But please, whatever you do, do not check the entire column. You either click on one cell within it or on the entire spreadsheet and then do the right click. But at this point, if you just click on one, if you choose one or one column or just a selection within the spreadsheet, it's just going to sort that, and that is definitely what you don't want. Now we're going to sort with using the data. Now we're going to sort with using the Data tab. So I'm going to click on the Data tab, and we're going to click on the Sort Z to A, highest to lowest, to see the highest retail price. Now the highest priced items that you have appear at the top of the list. And the highest price item right over here is by Sleepwell. This is a mattress. It's a king size, best quality diamond series, and the retail price is $1,699. So we're going to save that file. And let's do some custom sorting now. Sometimes you want to sort on some type of order that is not easily defined as highest to lowest or lowest to highest. So to do this exercise, we're going to click on the Open tab here. We need to go over to Computer, and let's just go ahead and open that August sales file that we were using before in our first exercise. So I'll click on August sales and open. We're going to save this one as my August sales file. So let's come over here, type my, enter. All right, now this is a listing of the daily sales totals for all of 90 Night Stores. It shows the date, the weekday, and the total sale amount. Your job is to find out the best and worst sale days of the week. You can do this in a number of ways. For the purposes of this exercise, we're going to sort the list by weekday, beginning with Sunday. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right-click on cell B1. We're going to point to Sort, and then we're going to scroll down over here to Custom Sort. And the Sort dialog box appears. In this dialog box, you can sort on a whole bunch of different levels. Excel 2003 only offered 3 sort levels, but in Excel 2007 and beyond, you can sort on as many fields as you have in the table, up to 64 fields. Probably you'll never get up to 64, but Excel allows you that functionality anyway. All right, so let's make sure that the checkbox over here, My Data Has Headers, that is checked. And in the Sort By drop-down menu, instead of sale date, we're going to choose weekday. We're going to leave the sort option or the sort on values and the order oldest to newest. We don't want that. We want to click on this list over here, and we'll click on custom list. Now the custom list dialog box allows you to sort your data using a whole bunch of different lists. Don't pay attention to this very last one down here. This is one I actually created a bingo game. This was actually a really cool project, and if you want to, if you wanted to have a copy of that spreadsheet, just go ahead and email me, and that's fine. I'll send the spreadsheet to you. It's a pretty cool thing. Use it at family reunions. That's what we did. It was a lot of fun to play bingo with all my children and their families. But don't worry about that. So in the custom lists over here, I want you to click on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So these are the days of the week. And click OK. And then we're going to click OK in the sort dialog box. Now you can see all of your data sorted by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday. There is no alphabetical order that you could sort these in, but by using the custom sort list, you can actually do it by weekday, which is really cool. Now let's talk a little bit about subtotals. No, we're not going to do that. Now to analyze the data, you could write some formulas, but you also have to look at it. Now you're going to analyze the data, and you could do that by writing some formulas, but you can also look at it on the fly. If you scroll up and down, you can see that Mondays appear to have the lowest total sales. Okay, so that's pretty easy to see because pretty much everything else has over $100,000. Now, to find out exactly what the totals are for each day, typically you have to write some type of calculation. In this case, I would usually use a pivot table, and that's discussed in chapters 11 and 12 of this course. But for now, we're going to use Excel's quick and clean subtotaling feature. Now, with the data sorted by weekday, I want you to click on the Data tab, and then click on the subtotal icon in the outline group, all the way over here to the right. And the subtotal dialog box appears. Now, there's various sections included in this dialog box. At change in each box allows you to specify the field that you want to subtotal. In our case, we want to make a subtotal for each change in weekday. You can choose sum, count, average, max, min, a whole bunch of other use functions in the use function box, depending on the type of subtotal you want to do. Typically, you perform calculations on numbers like sales and quantity, etc., and you count non-numbers like weekdays, contracts, names, things like that. You can check the fields that you want to create subtotals for in the Add Subtotal To list. By default, Excel checks the last box. The next three boxes allow you to replace the subtotals that may be currently in the list, do a page break between subtotals, and summarize the group below the data. Finally, you can remove all the subtotals by clicking the Remove All button. So in this exercise, what are we going to do? Let's read the instructions here. We're going to choose weekday in the at each change in. So let's click on this box over here, at each change in. We'll choose weekday. Make sure the sum function is in the use function list. Make sure the amount field over here is checked in the add subtotal to. And replace current subtotals. We don't have any current subtotals, so it really doesn't matter, but we'll just go ahead and leave that checked. We don't need a page break between groups, and summarize below data, that's fine. So we'll just go ahead and leave those default values and click OK. Now you see that your data contains subtotals after every change in weekdays. With the subtotaling tool, you can organize your data into levels. Now, I want you to look at the extreme upper left corner of the spreadsheet, and you're going to see these grouping level boxes. You can change the view of the data by simply clicking on the desired level box. So I'm going to click on level 1 over here. Level 1 just summarizes everything at the grand total. So we know for August sales, we have almost $4 million in sales, so $3.986 million in sales. Next, click on the level 2 box. And you see that your data is now summarized by weekday level. With the data summarized at the weekday level, level 2, you can easily see that Thursday's total of $719,342 is clearly the highest sale day of the month for the month of August. Fridays and Saturdays appear to be the next highest days, but wait, August has 31 days, and there are 5 Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays in August 2013. So those days should obviously have more sales. It would probably be a better analysis if we looked at the average daily sales instead of the total daily sales in August. So let's change up our subtotaling to do just that. So with any cell selected over here in the subtotals, I'm going to click the subtotal icon again. And in the subtotals dialog box, we're going to change, or the use function, we're going to change that from sum to average. And click OK. Now the subtotal list expands out to show you all of the data, and the total for each day changes to an average instead of a sum. Let's go ahead and click on the level 2 box over there. And we still see that Thursday still has the highest average sale day, followed by Friday, then Tuesdays. Mondays are the lackluster days. Those are the worst days of the month. So you may want to suggest that 99 Mattresses hold some type of special on Mondays to boost sales on those days. But you need to keep really close check on this data to make sure you don't cannibalize the other days of the week. You can also display and hide further detail or subtotals by clicking on the Show Detail or Hide Detail buttons. These are sometimes called the expandable buttons, expandable contractible buttons. So let's click on the Show Detail for Monday. Now you see all the detail and the average for Monday. Let's click on the level 3 box. And now the spreadsheet returns all of the data, showing all of the subtotals for all of the data. And let's save that file. Now it's time to complete the review questions. Log on to www.excelceo.com with your email address and password. Click on the Excel 2013 Review Questions, Chapter 4, Section 1 of 2 option, and complete the review questions. All right, let's continue on by talking about multiple subtotals. For this next exercise, we're going to open another file here. We're going to open the 2012 sales in Chapter 4. So let's navigate over to Chapter 4 here, 2012 sales. When using subtotals, it's important to remember to first sort the data in the same order that you want to calculate the subtotals for, then perform the subtotals. In this 2012 store sales spreadsheet, monthly sales for each store are listed. The fields that we have to work with are region, state, store number, year, month, sales, and cost. We want to analyze sales at all levels of the company, so we have to first sort by month, then by store number, then by state, and by region. To perform a cumulative sort on multiple levels, you must first sort by the field that contains the lowest level of data and work your way up to the highest level of data. In this example, the lowest level is by month and the highest level is by region. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to click over here on the month and sort that in ascending order. So we're going to click on the data tab over there, sort smallest to largest. And then we need to sort the rest of the data in ascending order using store number. So let's click on store number and then click the sort icon. Then on the state, so I'll click on state there, use the sort icon, and then by region and use the sort icon. Now that the data is sorted appropriately, let's perform our multiple subtotals. Now, with your cursor on only one cell in the spreadsheet, let's click the subtotal icon in the outline group of the data tab. And in the subtotal dialog box, make sure that region is clicked or is chosen under at each change in. The sum is chosen under the use function, and sales and cost are both checked in the add subtotal to. Make sure replace current subtotals and summary below data boxes are checked, which they are. Everything looks fine. Let's click OK. Now the subtotals are added at the region level. Next, we're going to add another level of subtotals at the state level. To do this, you're going to change the at each change in box to state and then uncheck the replace current box. So with the cursor inside that spreadsheet there, we're going to click on the subtotal icon again. Under at each change in, we're going to switch that from region to state. And then we're going to uncheck the replace current subtotals because we want to add subtotals to what we've got right now. And click OK. We see that doesn't give a whole lot of space down here. We're having some errors in some of the numbers, so I'm going to resize all of the columns here just to make sure we can see everything. And we scroll down a little bit and we can see that Massachusetts has some subtotals down there. New Jersey has a subtotal. New York. Looks like we've got subtotals at the state and at the region level now. Let's add another level of subtotals at the store number level. So we're going to click on the subtotal icon again. At each change in, we're going to change that to store number. We don't want to replace the current subtotals, so that looks good. We'll click OK. And now you see we have 5 levels of subtotals. The 3, the one at the very top, and then the one that shows all the detail, and plus the 3 subtotals in between. Now you can start clicking on these grouping level boxes over here, and you can see the subtotals for everything. This is kind of cool to see. So we see the grand total, $35 million in sales with $10 million in cost. You click on level 2. For region, we've got north, south, east, and west regions, and you can see how each of the regions are doing. Actually, you could add another column of data over here to calculate the percentages, but we're not going to do that right now. We click on the level 3, which shows the subtotals by state. Level 4 shows them by store number. And then level 5 shows everything, shows all of the detail. Now, while subtotaling is a very useful feature, sometimes you just want to filter the data without doing any subtotaling whatsoever. One option to get that accomplished is to use the filter functionality. So we're going to remove all the subtotals here. So we're going to click on the subtotal icon. We don't need all of these. I'm going to click on the remove all button down there, and all of the subtotaling goes away. On the data tab, we're going to click, and now this is with one cell clicked anywhere in the spreadsheet here or the entire spreadsheet. We're just going to click on the filter icon there. Now that is a real quick and dirty way to get these filter drop-down menus to appear, and I use this in my work all the time. So let's click on the state drop-down menu here, and a list of all of the states available in the state field appears. In this list, you can choose as many or as few options as you want. So for this exercise, I want you to uncheck the select all options, and then we're going to check the IN box for Indiana and click OK. The table is now filtered for only the data where the state is equal to Indiana. Notice that the row numbers turn to blue over here on the left-hand side. You may not be able to see it in the recording, but in your version of Excel, you should see that they are kind of a dark blue color instead of a black color. Also notice over here on the state, you see the state drop-down menu now isn't just a drop-down menu, but it's got a little picture of a filter there, and that means that it's that field that's sorted. Now let's click on the region drop-down menu. You see that now only the north region appears. Remember, we had 4 regions, north, south, east, and west, but with the state selected, it's only going to show those regions that are applicable to all of the other filters. When you choose one filter, the remaining fields are also filtered for that selection. So when you picked Indiana, which is the north region, only the north region appears under region. All right, so we're going to cancel out of the region drop-down menu. Let's click on the state drop-down menu again and choose Georgia, GA, in addition to Indiana, and we'll click OK. Now you have a filtered list containing all of the records where the state is either Indiana or Georgia. Let's talk about number filters now. You can customize a filter on a list based on a number of criteria. If you click on any filter, you'll see a whole bunch of different options based on the data type that's contained in that field. For example, if you click on the state filter, you'll see the sort A to Z, sort Z to A, and the text filters options, among others. If you click on the sales field filter, you'll see a different set of filter options, as the sales contains numbers, not text. So in this exercise, we're going to filter the entire list to see the top 20 stores in terms of sales per month. So on the state drop-down menu, I want you to click on that menu again, and we're going to click select all and then OK. And that basically takes off all the filters. Let's go over here now to the sales field. I'm going to click on that filter over there. And then we see these different options over here. Sort by color. We don't have any colors here. And I want you to hold your cursor over number filters. Come over here to the pop-up list over here to the right, and I want you to choose top 10. And the top 10 auto filter dialog box appears. In this box, you don't have to choose only the top 10. You can choose the top or bottom, and you can use the spinner button in the box that reads 10 to change that number. Or you can just type 20 in the box. All right, so we're going to actually use the spinner button over here. This is called a spinner button. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you in a later chapter how to use a spinner button to do your in your Excel spreadsheet, not just in a dialog box. And it's a really cool thing. So anyway, we're using that to take it up to the top 20 and click OK. Now you have a list of all of the top 20 stores and the months when they were in the top 20. Notice it doesn't sort the data, but it just simply chooses the top 20 in terms of sales. All right, let's go ahead and take off that filter. So I'm going to select all there, and that filter goes away. Let's talk now about search filters. Excel 2013 added a new feature called search filters. When you click on a filter drop-down arrow, a search box appears. As you start to type characters of the string or number you're looking for, Excel filters the items displayed in this filter list for those characters. This comes in really handy, especially when you have a list of hundreds or thousands of items. Let's go ahead and try an example using using the items file. So with the items file still open, let's come over here, go to the My Items file. Make sure that you can read all of resize the spreadsheet so you can read all of the columns and in the data. We're going to, with one cell clicked over there, we're going to click on the filter icon to display all of the filters. And then we're going to click on the filter for series. Now you notice that this search box right over here appears under the text filters options. You can use that search box to further filter the list. So in the first box right over there, let's go ahead and just click over there on top of the word search and type the letter O. Doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase, but don't click OK yet. The list is now filtered for all of the items that contain the letter O. As you type more characters, the list is filtered further. This same feature exists when we explore pivot tables in Chapter 11 and 12. I'm not going to spend any more time on the search filter, but it is a cool thing to know. So we're going to cancel out of that. And we're going to close that file. We don't need it. And let's go ahead and save it. Why not? Now let's talk about something really, really cool that a lot of people don't use. This is advanced filtering. Now, another cool function. This is another cool function in Excel 2013. It existed in some of the versions before 2013, but they've really improved it in Excel 2013. With advanced filtering, you can set up a criteria range and query data that meets that criteria. So let's try an example. So with the My 2012, all right, let's open My 2012. Let's see, was it My 2012 sales? What was it called? I can't remember. Actually, we didn't save it. That's okay. We'll just use the one that's currently open, the 2012 sales. All right. Make sure that the filter icon is clicked to show all the filters in the 2012 sales file. And then I want you to select rows 1 through 5 with your cursor, and then on the insert icon of the Home tab, I want you to click on that drop-down menu and choose Insert Sheet Rows. And over here and click on the Insert Cells icon, not the drop-down menu. And you see what that does, if you choose the entire row, it is going to automatically insert rows there. Now I want you to copy cells A6 through G6. So I'm going to click the copy icon. We're going to come up here to row A1 and we're going to paste that. Click escape and let's turn off the auto filters because we don't need them for this exercise. Now in cell E2, I want you to type the number 5. That's basically telling it we're going to filter this list down here for everything that is month 5 or May. So now I want you to click on the in the data tab in the sort and filter group over here. There's an icon that says advanced. So I want you to click on that icon and the advanced filter dialog box appears. Now make sure in the filter list in place radio button is checked. The list range over here should say A6 to G354. If it's not already there, make sure that it reads just exactly that. And in the criteria box, I want you to click over here in the criteria box. And we're going to select, we need to move up a little bit. We're going to select cells A1 through G2. And when you release the mouse, it shows that it puts that in absolute references over there. And click OK. The records below the criteria range are now filtered for all of the sales in month 5. You can also query on multiple criteria, and you can use wildcard characters in your criteria, like the star button and things like that. This is really cool. Now, when you do this, however, you've got to be careful. Remember that when you input criteria on more than one line, Excel will filter the records that match either criteria. Let's suppose that you want to filter all the records for May or June where the sales are greater than or equal to $100,000. So in cell E3, which is a little bit below that, we're going to type the number 6 in and enter. In cells F2 and F3, we're going to type greater than or equal to $100,000. All right, so we got that in cell F2. We're going to copy that down to cell F3. Let's click on the advanced icon again. Now in here, we've got to change our criteria range because we went one cell below that. So instead of G2, we're going to take that out and type G3 and click OK. The list is now filtered for sales equal to or greater than $100,000 in May or June. Now let's talk about filtering for unique values. With the advanced filter dialog box, you can query a table and extract data on unique values. Let's suppose that you want to extract a list of unique store numbers from the 2012 sales table. In that table, the store numbers are repeated 12 times, one time for each month. All we want is a simple list of all the store numbers. We need those numbers in some other analysis that we're doing. So with advanced filters, it's real easy to do. So over here in the sort and filter dialog box, I'm going to clear all of that. So we've cleared off all of our filters now. And click on the advanced filter again. So in the advanced filter dialog box, choose the copy to another location radio button over there. Edit the list range over here to be C6 to C354. So I'm actually going to highlight that, go over to C6, and we're going to scroll all the way down to 354 and release. That is the column C. That's everything that contains the all of the different store numbers. The criteria, we don't need that anymore, so I'm going to highlight this and take out the criteria. In the copy to, where do we want to copy it to? I'm just going to click on cell I1 over there because that's where we want to copy all that information to. And then we need to click this check unique records box. So when we click OK, it should give us a unique list of all of the stored numbers. Let's see what it does. See if I'm right. Ah, it works. Excellent. Now you have a list of all the unique store numbers in column I. Notice that they weren't sorted yet. So if you wanted to do some sort, you'll have to do that. But that's actually a pretty cool thing to do. You can extract a unique list of numbers from a complete data set like that. Pretty cool. All right, conclusion. In this chapter, you open and work with multiple files, arrange them in a cascading order, and copied tabs from one file to another. You learned how to use the sort A to Z ascending and sort descending icons. To reemphasize, when you're using these icons, please click on only one cell in the column that you want to sort. Do not select the entire column. If you do that and click the sort, it is going to mess up your spreadsheet and you don't want that. So please, please, please don't do that. You also learned how to perform custom sorts on the data. You worked with a few examples using the subtotal feature, which comes in handy when analyzing tables with lots of rows of data. You performed multiple subtotals on various levels of data. You also learned how to filter data on a spreadsheet, including using the filter, custom filtering, top 10 filtering, search filters, and explored advanced filters. Review questions. It's now time to complete the review questions. Log on to www.excelceo.com with your email address and password. Click on the Excel 2013 Review Questions, Chapter 4, Section 2 of 2 option, and complete the review questions. After you complete the review questions, you go on to the chapter exam. To take the exam for this chapter, you must have successfully completed the examination for the previous chapter and completed all the review questions for this chapter. You can now go to www.excel.com, click on the sign in, log in, and take the exam. Make sure that you take the exam on the same computer on which you completed the sample files, as some of the questions on the exam may refer to some of the completed examples.